It's an unfortunate reality if you're raising animals, if you're on a homestead. Sometimes you have to dispatch your animals.
Yeah, they're a nightmare without it.
It's Bermuda grass. When we say weeds, we're talking about Bermuda grass. His little feet have stirrups that they have. Check this out. Hi, folks. It's Saturday, March 18th, and it's cold. As I predicted, the warm weather, the spring-like weather that we were experiencing over the past few weeks has quickly plummeted. The next few days, it's looking like we're getting down to the teens at night. 20, 19, something like that. One of the things that we wanted to do was put our turkey chicks out here in the barn. I'm actually planning on putting them in this stall, but we're gonna wait till it warms up a little bit. It should warm up to lows in the 40s by mid next week. I'm gonna keep them inside for one more week. They're stinky, they're crowded because they're getting so big. Knowing what we know about turkey attrition, we don't want to lose any of our turkeys. So we're just gonna give them a few more days in the stock tank inside before we put them out in the stall in the barn. And even though it's cold and we're certainly not ready to start planting outside yet, it is time to get moving with the garden. So today I'm going to try and pick up some compost. I got a good tip on some local compost that's not adulterated in any way. It's just pure good stuff. From what I've been told, I'm going to pick up a few scoops to add to our current compost pile. We do have our own compost pile that we're running, but it's still working. It's not resting. We need some rested compost that's ready to go. Just a few scoops. So I'm getting a tarp ready to handle that compost just so we have it. It's going quick, so I just want to get a few scoops before it's all gone, just because people are buying it. Another thing that we're doing is measuring the lanes, because we're going to be putting down some landscape fabric, some tough landscape fabric, the kind that we used on the driveway or on the gravel at the Kramer's last week. Stuff that's like non-porous, it's woven, it's like contractor grade. I'm trying to describe how it is. I don't know the official term for that type of landscape fabric, but it's the stuff I'd like to use in the lanes. We tried the living lanes in between the beds last year and it just wasn't working. The weeds were too out of control. Ideally, we'd get to the place where we never have to bring in compost from outside of the garden. We could just use outside of the homestead. We could just use our own compost that we make here on the homestead. We're not there yet. Our compost pile is still a bit too small, but I think we'll get there within a few years. Until then, like I said earlier, I'm just trying to source compost that I know is unadulterated. It's good stuff. It doesn't have any weird chemicals in it. I know that's always tough to ascertain, but we do the best we can. And from what I've heard, the compost that I'm about to pick up, fingers crossed that it isn't out by the time I get there, is good stuff. So let me go get that. We wanted maybe a little bit more, but we're just using it to kind of supplement what we have in our beds. The problem right now is that we're in the mud. Right, Dad? Right. And this truck is laid down this is a small truck.
And it's rear-wheel drive, so it typically doesn't do well.
Well, we're about to find out to see if we'll get out through this mud here.
I think once I get going, I just better not stop. That's
yeah.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Nice. Nice.
We're good. All right, so we're going to be able to get out of the mud pit that is the compost place. So we're going to take what compost we got, which again, This is a starter batch right here. We're gonna start here for now. But as Dad, after we parked, I looked and check it out. Little Henry is on a ride along. He's like a little,
That's right.
we got this backpack.
Hiking backpack.
This hiking backpack from my sister. Thank you, Megan, as a hand-me-down. And Henry loves it. You know what I really love? His little feet have stirrups that they have. Check this out. There's little stirrups for his feet. And he seems to be enjoying
He loves it.
He's looking at the chickens right now. What do you think, bud? You like being outside? We're going to go on some fun hikes with this thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to get to digging. I think Henry's going to get to watching us.
So right here on the tarp.
Right here. Yep. Well, that took us all of 10 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
Maybe like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It didn't take long at all.
Pretty quick.
This is going to be a start for us. Obviously, that's not a lot of compost, but it'll give us a good start on the beds. Once we diminish it somewhat, we'll see what we have in our own personal compost, if anything's ready. But if not, we can always get more. It's not super expensive. And we'll wait till that drops down a little bit before we do it. So we were able to scrounge up 2 rolls of this heavy-duty landscape fabric. As you can see, it's woven, and this is the stuff that is under the mulch around our house, and it does keep weeds out. Since we're so sick of the weeds in between the beds here, we're just gonna lay this stuff down. We've got 200 feet. We calculated after measuring that we'd need probably 250, maybe 260 feet if we want to do the whole garden, the lanes between them, but we'll work with what we have now, and if we need to order some more, we can cross that bridge when we get there. But the important thing is just to start laying this stuff down. Knowing Bermuda grass.
Every little effort we take helps.
Yes, it's a war.
After we get this conquered, something else pops
Yep.
up, you know.
Well, Nana Jana, we successfully covered the lanes with our landscape fabric, our heavy-duty contractor-grade landscape fabric. We got in with just 2 rolls. I thought we'd need 3, but we were able to make it manage with 2 rolls, which I'm glad because they're not cheap. One thing that you've started doing, Nana Jana, is so I mentioned at the beginning of this episode how bad the weeds are in some of the beds, but Nana Jana has a program for getting rid of the weeds. And you can see right here, she's already done one of the beds today. The basic idea, and we've talked about this in another video, you just dig really deep,
get all the roots and everything, and put that fine soil back. For no-till people, well, we're tilling, but by
We're tilling,
hand.
yeah.
But that grass and those roots are they're a nightmare without it.
It's
So,
Bermuda grass. When we say weeds, we're talking about Bermuda grass.
I did still see some worms and stuff in there, so I haven't totally ruined it.
Okay, so we only got a couple beds to go. We've got 1, 2, 3, plus all the tomato beds.
Yeah,
4, 5,
they're still
6.
pretty
So
heavy.
the tomato beds are pretty bad, but we've got 6 beds to go. I'd say we've got a month before we start letting stuff sit out here overnight in the gardens. But in the meantime, we're actually going to start seeds probably next week, right?
Yeah, in some little containers to get ready for these clean beds and get our garden going.
We're excited about that. But
We are.
step 1 in the garden, I think we're good. We'll finish weeding. I'll cover all this stuff with mulch. Obviously, I never mentioned that. We're not just gonna leave the black fabric here. We're gonna cover it with mulch, and I've got a ton of mulch. But I think we're on our way. Thank you, Nana Jana.
You're most welcome.
The final thing I wanted to talk about today, something that it's an unfortunate reality if you're raising animals, if you're on a homestead. Sometimes you have to dispatch your animals for non-meat reasons, which is I just hate doing. We've got a chicken. She's been limping. I've been watching her for a few days. I don't think she's sick. She could be egg bound. She could have broken a leg or something, but she's not doing well. And it seems like it's gotten worse. And so I need to make the decision of whether or not I dispatch her. When I dispatch animals for meat, it's good. It's a circle of life because they go in my freezer, we eat them, they provide sustenance to us. But when I dispatch an animal for no reason, I feel bad. I mean, obviously I'd be ending her suffering, but it's one of the things you have to do if you get into homesteading or raising animals on a large scale like this is if you have livestock, you're gonna have dead stock. And that's not, that's a really unfortunate part of this lifestyle. One that I don't really savor. And I think you'd be kind of messed up in the head if you did enjoy killing animals for no reason. But if you're doing it to ease their suffering or to end their suffering, sometimes you just have to do it. I don't know. I may do it tonight. I haven't decided. I'm trying to see, like maybe she hurt her foot or something. I can't quite tell. There's no splinters in here. She doesn't seem to be reacting too much when I manipulate her legs, but her vent is clear. I'll give her one more day. And if she doesn't improve, she's just going to get worse, and then I'll have to say goodbye to her. But she'll serve good as compost, I think, or as food for the coyotes in the back pasture. Either way, it's unfortunate, and it's not fun. ButLl give her some food and some water right now, give her another day to see if she gets better. And if not, then she'll say goodbye to the flock. But this one has been with us since we moved here. So this one's like 2.5 years old. I'll give her another day. We'll see. So other than the injured or sick chicken, it's been a good day, guys. We got things going in the garden. Man, I'm so excited to see that. That lets me know that we're going into spring. And that lets me know that we live on a homestead and we are blessed to be able to have a big enough garden to grow a lot of our own food. It's our 3rd year gardening here. Hopefully we'll get it better this time. And then we got all that dirt. But today was a good day. We got some stuff done and I feel good about it. So thanks for hanging out with us, and until we see you again next time, remember, as always, slowly, slowly.